How long should I stay in Turkey for this extension surgery? The total process takes 6 months, but you don't need to stay in Turkey for 6 months. A 2-month initial process will be satisfactory and meet our requirements. Hello, could you please explain what limb lengthening surgery is and how it is performed? What is a height extension surgery? The general name of the surgeries we apply to our patients who are not satisfied with their height, have one leg shorter than the other, or have one arm shorter than the other, is actually known as height extension surgery. Leg lengthening surgery is actually a treatment method that has been applied for many years. We also do this for many of our patients, many people aesthetically. This situation is also implemented worldwide. If we come to the question of how to do it, how are we doing it? We have a few different methods. At present, we are aware of 3 methods, and all of them are methods that necessitate surgery. One of them is done in the form of elongation that we do by placing nails, known as magnetic nails, inside the bones. We then create a small fracture and separate the bones from each other using these nails, which act as distractors. This process allows for approximately 1 millimeter of bone growth per day. Second question, how many centimeters can my height be extended at most? It is recommended to extend it up to 12 centimeters. The literature indicates this, but it is actually related to the patient's height. In someone who is very short, it may not be very likely for someone who is 130 meters tall to grow 12 centimeters. But I've seen height extension surgeries up to 12 centimeters, 14 centimeters, and even 16 centimeters in my own experience, although the height of a 1.70 person can be easily increased. Yes, a height extension surgery is a serious operation. Why? Because we are working on the bones, it may be a little heavy for the first few days. But thanks to the new emerging techniques and new emerging anesthesia drugs, we are very successful in minimizing these burdens. Risks of height extension surgeries? Another question. Risks of height extension surgeries? Just like any surgical procedure, there is a possibility of infection, blood clotting, scarring, and the need for a repeat surgery, although the likelihood is very low, even in the range of 0.01% for this specific surgery. However, it is important to be aware of these potential risks. However, the complication that is most common and most feared among patients is the possibility of restriction in joint movement. In order to prevent this, we can also overcome that complication with an intensive physical therapy after the surgery. We also take the necessary treatment and precautions sufficiently so that there are no other complications I mentioned. Is this extension surgery a safe procedure? Yes, it is performed as a safe operation thanks to the implementation of new anesthesia techniques, new nail techniques, and recent advancements in the field of medicine. This surgery has been performed since 1970. It is a surgical technique with a history of approximately 50 years. Thus, it is implemented in a manner that is safe and successful. How long does the extension surgery process take from start to finish? If we take into consideration the day on which the surgery was performed, we can discuss a maximum time frame of 6 months for the individual to go back to their previous lifestyle. The surgery, recovery afterwards, completion of rehabilitation, and regaining the previous range of motion can take up to 6 months in total. But the amount of elongation is reduced. We had 2 bone jobs with elongations of 3 centimeters and 4 centimeters. These patients can also achieve the desired result in 3 months and return to their old lives. How long should I stay in Turkey for this extension surgery? The total process takes 6 months, but you don't need to stay in Turkey for 6 months. A 2-month initial process will be satisfactory and meet our requirements. No hospitalization during the 2-month process. First day spent in hospital for about 10 days. During the first 10 days, you will be staying in the hospital. It is strongly suggested that you consider staying in a nearby and convenient hotel to have easy access to physiotherapy services for the remaining 50 days.